All right. So you're welcome to SIMA Abacus presentation. Um, Not really presentation. This is the business presentation. Of course, this is a sample of our business proposal. Well, I will want to spare you the details. These are, of course, the full content of the proposal where everything about the business is lined up. So when you pass this stage, we'll be able to make this available for you to have a look at. But for now, we want to talk about the thing that matter, which is talking about the figures, the money, right? First of all, I want to explain how we run this program. We have three ways whereby we run the program. Three. First is that we have an online program where people pay and then go to their website and then learn about the program. The children learn is a platform. But that's not what we want to talk about very much. We offered that also to parents, but many of them wanted a physical program, and that was brought about the fact that we have to start getting people in various local governments in order to help us. At the offline class, there are two ways. First is what we call the school-based program, where we send our trained instructors to go to school to teach the learners. Or then the second one is what we call the center base or the club base. So as a franchisee, what is expected of you is that the moment you get your license for a particular local government, which we normally prefer the local government where you reside, when you get a license for it, you must have a place. As we talk about, I'm going to explain to you why you must have your own place. You must not just depend on going to school. So you must have a place, either your own property or something rented, where children can come to you to learn. That's where I want to start now, talking about the center base or the club base. And what is that? So it's a place where now the children come to you on weekend, particularly on Saturdays, and then again after school, for those who have come up a little bit, who are a little bit of age, after school they can come to the center and then do their classes. So the club base is also divided into two: the after school program and the weekend program. Now the after school program, the program is generally structured for 2 hours in a week. 2 hours in a week. So if the children are coming for offline for the after school program, because maybe the nature of our country at the moment, so the program is meant for just 1 hour. So they come 1 hour on one particular day, they come 1 hour, they repeat 1 hour on another day, and then they complete. So for instance, if you look at the chart that we have, the first batch, which is you have children who come for the after school program, they come between 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. depending on your locality. It could be 4:30 to 5:30, whichever way. So by just 1 hour. So they come on Monday and then they repeat on Wednesday, so they have completed 2 hours. For those, then another batch, second batch comes on Tuesday, and then probably repeat and then repeats on Thursday. That concludes it. You understand? So, I want to assume that maybe in a center, you have a center, you started this, and then you have about let's say you have two classrooms, rented place, just two classrooms, and then you have 12 learners. What are you likely to be making? What are you likely to see? So we went to the bareless minimum. Currently, where our center is located, we charge 10,000 naira per month. However, we did this proposal with 5,000 naira. So we say, for instance, you have 12 learners in the class, and then you have two classes. For those who are coming on Monday and Wednesday, like first batch, if you have a complete set of 12, that gives you that's 24. That's because when they come, 12 here, 12 in this class, 12 in this class, so that gives you 24 learners. Of course, times 5,000, that gives you 120,000. Now that's a month. Then the second batch, the same thing, you have 120,000 per month. So from the after school based program only, children, you are getting 240,000 per month. Then so now if you look at it per term, for us a term is about 4 months, not 3 months like it is in the normal school system. So 4 months, so 4 times that, so that gives you 960,000 naira for that's for a period of 4 months. Now, for the second aspect of it, which is the weekend program. So let's start this because you're still using the same facility. So those who come for after school program, they don't come on weekend. So you have different sets of children who are coming on weekend. So for the weekend program, you still have 12 filling each classes. So you have the time frame from the start by 9 a.m. and then by 11 and then ends by 11. That's 2 hours. So for those who come on weekend, they do the 2 hours at a go. They don't do one day and come another day. They do the 2 hours as a go. So you have 9 to 11. They have 11:15 to 1:15. We have 1:30 to 3:30. So you have three different batches on that weekend. And then so following the same statistics, so you have over 120 times 3, that gives you 360. So in a term, that will give you 1,440,000 naira. So then when you now want to go, so this is what you have, want to look at how are you going to make expenses, how you're going to make expenses with that money, or some of the things some of the expenses you're likely to incur. First of all, is what we call royalties. This is a franchise, and franchise deals with what we call royalty. So you get your license as you operate the business. Whatever you make by way of revenue, you give the mother company 20% of it, and that's what we require. For many other franchises, some is 40%, some is 25%, and all that. I think we are one of the least. So as you make your 120 within the first month, you are to give, like as you make, I mean, you make your 600,000. I mean to say, in a month, which is what we call income based a month, then this is gotten from 240 plus 360. So I think I did that math somewhere here. Clarity. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let's say this 240 that you got here for the after school base, and then plus 360 for the weekend program. So all of them will give you 600,000. So out of that 600,000, 20% comes to the mother company, which is 120. So we're looking at the fact that maybe you have two instructors working for you or just one. But I believe that two classes, each class requires one instructor. So you have two instructors working for you. You're looking at 12%. So if you are paying them over, let's say 30,000 each, that should be around 60. If you decide to do more, you can do more. We're looking at 12% allocated to that. And that gives you 72,000. But it could be because if people are just teaching probably on weekends and then maybe just after school, I think you can get a lot of people that can work within that price range. I'm still going to talk about instructors the more, how we can also use the same instructors for school-based program and then pay them more, that they can be a permanent staff for you. Then we have rent, it's a 9%. You have tax, that's where it's applicable. And then you have publicity, the amount you invest on materials, flyers, and all those things. And then the license, we're looking at each month as you get the money, as you get the tuition fee paid, you set something aside towards the license, because when the license expires after 2 years, you're still going to renew the license. So we have factored all that in. Look at miscellaneous, maybe some other expenses that you didn't know were coming. Maybe for instance, you do buy water for children every week, or maybe you have a dispenser where water children take water. You're managing those things. So we just look at it, put everything as miscellaneous. So at the end of all this, when you take all this detail, you have 34% as your profit margin. So in a month, all things being equal, when you get a revenue of 600, by the time you take care of all these details, you have 240,000 net profit. All right. So if you take it by 4 months, which is of course a term for us, so these are the various figures. So for you, it becomes 816,000 naira for 4 months. Then in a year, you're looking at okay, so in 2 years, okay, this is a year, 12 months. In 12 months time, so you're looking at 2,448,000. So within the 2 years of the license, of your license expiration, you have made 4,890,000, right? Um, and that is it. But then that is just for the center base. So please hold on and get it in detail. This is just for the center base. It could be more. Remember, we're dealing with student number of about 120 in a center. There's tendency you could have 200, tendency you can have, 400, depending, you get. And we're using only 2 classrooms. There's possibility of you having 4 classrooms or more. You understand? So each classroom you have means that you have more people in there, and so on and so forth. So please, this is just a face value that we did, so but all the beauty about it is that by the time you are done, by the time you are ending the business, like in a 2 years time, you have the money for the license kept. If you are actually saving it, if you are following our statistics, our breakdown, you have that. So you're not going to get money, go and look for money elsewhere to compare. So this is a net profit. This is it. Your rent is taking care of everything. I mean, let's assume you even rented a 3 bedroom flat where you're paying about 1 million in a year and all that. So you see, or maybe less than that. So you see, somehow your rent is taken care of. So we try to factor all these things so that whatever you are seeing here becomes your net. So that even when a child just pays a tuition of, say, maybe of 10,000 or whatever, or 5,000 as we are using, you can actually you apply this percentage to it and know exactly the amount you can spend out of it, that is immediately your profit. You understand? Now, so that's it. Remember, we use again the figure of 5,000. Our center now, we are charging 10,000. Of course, looking at our locality, there are some areas where you can actually charge 20,000 naira, and it's no challenge, because it's a place probably people understand the value of education. Of course, the income earning power of that area might be on the high side. So, but we went to the barest minimum, as mean maybe this is a village where people will not have to spend too much money. That's what we're looking at. Of course, if you're in a local government, I believe that most local governments uh, develop to value this. Now, so this the again the club level or the center level. Now, I want to look at, now remember, we're giving, when you give you license, you are in charge of a particular local government. You're in charge of it. So meaning that apart from you having a center where people come to learn from you, you also have all the schools within that locality as your domain. So meaning, because of course we have the school base where schools call, or many a lot of schools have called us, and we send our instructors to go to the school to go and teach. You understand? So that's another dimension, and of course that is where again there's a big the money is quite on high, but we decide to be very moderate. Let's assume the whole local government. I know there's no local government in Nigeria that you won't get at least up to let me be moderate again, up to at least say 20 private schools or 50 private schools. There's no, I don't think there's at least let me say 20. There's no local government you can't get up to 20. There are more in excess. So by the time you send proposals, the time you go to engage these 20 schools, you're likely to get at least 5 of them interested. However, we decided again to work with just two schools in this our proposal. So say if you have two schools with an average maybe population of 200 learners per school, and probably you charge them 10,000 naira for the whole term. So you get the idea. At the center, for instance, where we are now, at the center, the children get to pay like 10,000 naira per month. So in a term, they are paying about 40,000 naira. If you are using 5,000 naira, in a term, they're paying about 20,000 naira. Now, but then at the school, because the school, you charge them per term. They're being charged per term. Let's assume 10,000 naira per term. By the time you present the offer, parents will jump into it because they know that coming to them in the school is cheaper for them than when they come to center. Of course, in the school you have more numbers. So now, at 200 layers at the amount of 10,000, and that gives you 2 million. That's per term. And then for two schools, that will give you 4 million. Right. So now we look at what are some of the possible expenses of running a school. Well, it's okay for that. Two schools means you have two instructors that will be handling the school for you. So let's say you pay them 50,000 as salary per instructor. That for the two of them means 100,000. That 100,000, remember, is per month, but you are working per term. So again, let's assume you incur administrative expenses, maybe transportation by you going to supervise what the teachers are doing, or probably some stationery and all that. So let's say everything 25,000. And then let's look at expenses per term. Now in a term, you by that when you make the 4 million, you are mandated to pay 20% as loyalty to the mother company, and then you have a salary of 400,000 to take care of. That's 100,000 times 4. And then you have an administrative expenses of say 25,000 times 4, I give 100,000. So total expenses comes to 1,300,000. When you subtract it from 4 million, you have 2,700,000. So by the time you now add together the amount you are getting from the center, we use A for the center base as a club level, and what you get in a school for the school-based program. So by the time you put them together, you have 816. So you add them together, then you have 3,516,000. Remember this eight 816,000 is actually the amount you get in a term for running a center, for running that club. And then um, this this one, the 2,750 is actually the amount you get for running a school, these two schools in a term. So by the time you put these two figures together, you land at 3,516,000, and this is per term. Now, if you want to know what this comes amount in a year, what that means, you multiply by 3, and that's arguably 10 million something. Now, and that is when you do it again. Now, I remember this is profit. This is profit. This is not revenue. This is profit. Now, that's about 10 million. And by the time you use, okay, let's look at it within that 2 years. How much am I getting? Multiply by 10 million by 2. That's estimatedly enough, which is of course above it. You should be having 20 million plus. Now, this is at least this is will give us an idea of what we're looking for. Now, I want you to imagine. Let's be very, very honest and very candid. This is a program that parents are demanding. Parents are inquisitive about it. And by God's grace, we have a system that have been nurtured where it's not for us. We are not doing what some others are into, where they come and just teach children how to do some shortcuts to form. It's a systematic process, right? So let's assume you have. I just want you to imagine this. Let's assume at that center you are able to have like 400 kids. I want you to think about how much is coming. Then let's assume in the school you're able to get like 10 of these such schools that have over all their numbers put together. On average, you have 200. 10 of it multiply by what you have. So the opportunity is limitless. You can't talk about it enough, right? But this just to give you a fair idea. This is just a little idea of the list of worst, the worst case of it, the worst scenario. That's what we just presented to you. All right, finally, so we're asking how much are we asking for license? We're asking for 2 million, 2.1 million. Material fee that you have to invest, you have to put in. We supply you material to start up immediately is 550,000, and then marketing investment is 210,000. The material is the kit, the material that we use. So we give it to you at a price where you also sell. You sell at you sell to the student at there's some markup on it. You can spell that out here. So please can take time. Once you get in touch with us, we send you a copy of this. You can take time to study it. I just want to give a brief overview, right? And then so total cost you are looking at is let's say it's all things being equal, 2,860,000 thousand.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We praise your name, oh Lord. We give you all the praise. You are worthy, Lord, of our praise. We praise your name, oh Lord.